De Franse ambassade in Suriname ontvangt hoog bezoek uit Frans-Guyana. In het kader van een seminar over verantwoorde goudwinning op het Guyana Schild zal er dan een belangrijke seminar worden gegeven. De directeur van Nationaal Bosbureau Frans-Guyana, de SBB van Frans-Guyana, François Korysko, en expert in de rehabilitatie van goudwinningsgebieden, Emmanuelle Huet, die zullen daarbij hun kennis en ervaringen delen vandaag met ons over duurzaam bosbeheer en herstel van aangetaste gebieden. Hun bezoek biedt een waardevolle aanleiding om binnen het programma Onder de Loep stil te staan bij deze thematiek. En in gesprek zullen wij dus gaan met deze twee over de uitdagingen rond bosbehoud en natuurbescherming in de regio. Vandaag in Onder de Loep de uitdaging in bos- en natuurbescherming. Welkom bij Onder de Loep, het programma waarin we actualiteiten in breder perspectief plaatsen en vanuit meerdere invalshoeken bekijken. Vandaag in Onder de Loep de uitdagingen in bos- en natuurbescherming. Na de break stel ik mijn gasten aan u voor. Bij mij aan tafel François Korysko, directeur Nationaal Bosbureau Frans-Guyana, en Emmanuelle Huet, expert rehabilitatie goudwinningsgebieden. Welkom. We zullen het gesprek in het Engels doen, want zij zijn de Nederlandse taal niet zo machtig, maar ik denk dat de boodschap wel heel duidelijk zal zijn. François Korysko en Emmanuelle Huet, welkom.
Okay, thank you for the invitation. Thank you
Yes.
very much.
You guys are in Suriname. Share with us, what is the mission?
So first of all is to meet all our counterparts, SBB, LBB, ministers, government agencies, NGOs, miners, so we can exchange lots of topics about forest management,
Yes.
about mining rehabilitation, mining management. That's very important because this is one big forest, this is one big forest, that's the same people who live among the forest. The Maroni is a river, okay, that's two different countries, but I guess that discussing, exchanging with all the counterparts is really, really important.
Okay. Oh, and Emmanuelle, welcome.
Yeah, welcome.
You're an expert when it comes to gold mining.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tell us a bit about it.
We are coming in Suriname to have the seminar about gold mining responsible for talking about rehabilitation between Brazil, Suriname, Guyana and French Guyana. And we have to exchange about rehabilitation and how can we work together to improve our work about that.
Oké, nou goed, dat heeft u dus gehoord. Het gaat dus om onze bos- en natuurbescherming en daarin speelt goudwinning een heel belangrijke rol. Voor we verder gaan hebben we deze instart nog voor u.
Een team deskundigen op het gebied van onder meer wildlife protection en ecologie vertrekt morgen naar het dorp Apetina in het district Baliwini onder het motto You can't protect what you don't know. Dit initiatief komt van stichting Mulokot. Het doel is om het Guyana-gebied ecologisch in kaart te brengen, zodat er een duidelijk beeld is van wat beschermd dient te worden tegen onder meer kwikvervuiling. Ecoloog Stijn Noller, die deel uitmaakt van het team, gaat in op de werkwijze die gehanteerd zal worden.
Het gebied is 2,4 miljoen hectare, dus 80% van België is nog nooit goed ecologisch in kaart gebracht. Maar er zijn heel veel bedreigingen voor het gebied, dus je hebt kwikvervuiling, goudmijning, maar ook klimaatverandering is een hele grote. Dus we willen weten wat zijn de effecten op de soorten. Maar ja, als je niet weet welke soorten er zitten, kan je ze ook niet beschermen. Dus vandaar gaan we nu kijken welke soorten zitten we er. En gaan we nu binnen een 10-jarenplan gaan we kijken wat de verschillen zijn in de soorten in het gebied.
Ja, hoe zullen jullie precies te werk gaan?
Ja, we gaan heel vroeg opstaan en tot heel laat wakker blijven. En dan overdag een beetje slapen als het warm is. En dan gaan we dus over de rivier drijven. En gaan we kijken naar welke dieren we zien. Dus dan zetten we de motor uit. En dan gaan we kijken wat we kunnen zien. En we gaan met de GPS gaan we gewoon door het bos lopen. Achter bepaalde bergen die we van vooraf in kaart hebben gebracht die interessant zijn. En gaan we dus gewoon door het bos lopen en zelf een weg maken en kijken wat we tegenkomen.
Nou, dat heeft u dus gehoord. François en Miss Emmanuelle, is gold mining the main topic of this seminar?
Yeah, for the seminar, that's the main topic, and how we go towards a sustainable gold mining, you know, because of course, to mine the gold, you have to clear cut the forest to access the ground, the soil, and to remove the gold. So how do you assess impact on the forest, you know? How do you rehabilitate after your activity? How do you bring back a forest? How do you bring back the ecosystem?
Is it possible to bring back a forest after it's been cleared and gold mines have been...
To coming back to an initial forest, we think it's not possible for the forest to coming back because the impact is too much. We clean the soil and the water and the forest. So, but we must work to try our best to the ecosystem to come back in a form that is functional for the life and for the population, of course, with the creeks and coming back. We can work. We work already on that, but we can do better.
Okay, you have been in the forest in French Guyana. Have there been projects where parts of the forest have been rehabilitated, restored?
Yeah, we have some. We have few projects about that, and one of the projects is to work with the gold miner companies, to work with them to improve the exploitation method, to have a better rehabilitation. So the rehabilitation have to be considered before the exploitation for the company when they are collecting the gold, and always in mind. And it will be we will have a very good result after, better result.
Okay.
Yeah.
Has the most damage been done by gold miners, or are there other sectors within the forest?
Sure. So it's very important to say that legal mining is authorized by the government, you know, so people got the permit to extract the gold there. But then the French law say that they must rehabilitate. That's part of their job. They must, you know, pay for that as well. So the company can extract, but must then repair the ecosystem if you want. So we are working to write the rules, because rehabilitation means everything. But of course, the goal, the objective is to get back a functional ecosystem, like Emmanuelle said, wildlife, water, trees, if you know, if we want to summarize the stuff. So how we do that, how we kick back, you know, the ecosystem for it to be functional again. Of course, you know, you clear cut a 1,000-year forest, so you cannot get back a 1,000-year forest after that. But how do you, you know, you get the spark for the ecosystem to grow again? That's work of Emmanuelle, and we work with the miners, we work with NGOs, we work with ecologists. So what is the best way to do that? But, you know, of course, the forest, like in Suriname, in French Guyana, they've got lots of different forests. That's not a unique forest. You've got mountains, you've got soil, you've got stuff. So we have first to have an inventory. So what trees are there, what the soil looks like, how the water goes. And then with that, so that's Emmanuelle said, we have to think rehabilitation during the exploitation. If you do that after, that will be not so good. But if we think that beforehand, and we work at the same time, exploitation, rehabilitation, exploitation, rehabilitation, you can get a functional forest.
That's like the system you want to have the government implement.
Sure, and that's why we are here, you know, to discuss with Surinamese miners, Surinamese government, Surinamese SBB, for example, because we share a common responsibility, I guess, you know, and the work of Emmanuelle can be shared with other counterparts. Of course, it will be silly to work alone just behind our borders. Let's exchange. Let's share our knowledge, like biodiversity knowledge, technology knowledge, and let's share that among together.
Okay, Emmanuelle, what is the biggest challenge in within the gold mining?
The biggest challenge for the gold mining is it's all about the soil, and when the gold mining extraction, we disturb the soil, and we all mixed together a soil that many years of construction of the soil. So this is we still have to understand how the soil are working in this area, and how we can rebuild a soil that will support all the life after. And this is now it's our best issue on the rehabilitation, to understand more about soil and to keep the soil in a good way.
All right. In the next part, we'll talk about the gold mine, the illegal gold mining, because that is causing a big problem. But when it comes to law, what is French Guyana doing differently than Suriname?
I guess one of the biggest difference is that legal gold mining and illegal gold mining are really separated. Sometimes, of course, you've got connections, but most of the time, legal gold miners are authorized and they do their work and they must rehabilitate. Illegal gold mining, of course, they don't have any authorization, and when they dig out the gold, they leave. And the soil and the forest and the rivers are really pretty damaged then. So, of course, fighting against illegal gold mining, I guess as well, that's a common mission, Yeah. Of course, that's a diplomatic mission between France and Suriname. For example, the treaty of the border must be ratified by the Surinamese parliament, I guess soon. But, to work on, we know where the border is and we know which force can work on that. Of course, as well, the diplomatic work must be taken towards, of course, the markets on the Maroni River, because lots of products for illegal gold mining are sold here. And, of course, in the French part, how we fight against illegal gold miner, how we stop the logistic, going along the rivers, how we destroy the camp. But what we do after that, because you've got hectares of damaged forest. So how Emmanuelle, not alone, but with a lot of people, will rehabilitate such zones. That's one of the main missions.
Okay. Have you made a scan of the situation in Suriname? During the seminar, you can also
during the seminary, I hope we can scan, and then I will be pleased to discuss and to understand more about Suriname situation and to exchange about.
Okay. What will the seminar look like? What are the topics that will be presented?
There are different topics. There are topics about how we can extraction of gold mining without mercury, for example. Some experience from companies will be shared, and about laws in different between different countries, or the organization between administration, etc. Okay. And there is companies, experts on different topics, and administration. All the process of the gold mining will be sure.
Will there also be alternatives presented, not using mercury while mining the gold?
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah, because mercury is forbidden under an agreement, international agreement back in 2006. French Guyana signed it. Suriname signed it as well. So how do you implement that then on the field? And then what are different options? Because between if you don't use mercury, mercury is really efficient, to separate gold from soil, from mud. So in French Guyana, for example, they got some gravity techniques. So when you splash the mud and the soil with water, the gold will go below one big carpet, let's call that, and the water with the mud will go back in the river again. And so then you can take back the gold.
It's a clean way of...
It's a cleaner way, because there's only mud going back in the water, not mercury. Yes. So I guess that's one of the French gold miner will present how we work in
Yes.
this site. And today there is a field trip in French Guyana on the mine site, and lots of people will see how the miners
All right.
work that, and Surinamese miners as well.
Oké. Nou goed, we gaan naar de break en praten zometeen over de andere problemen waarmee wij te kampen hebben binnen de illegale goudsector. Blijf u kijken. Nou, we praten vandaag met François Korysko. Hij is directeur Nationaal Bosbureau Frans-Guyana en Emmanuelle Huet. Zij is expert rehabilitatie goudwinningsgebieden. One of the biggest challenges is mercury. Dat is kwik die dus gebruikt wordt bij de goudwinning. Mercury has been used for a very long time. French Guyana has signed the agreement not to use it in 2016, as Suriname did. Is it totally banned? Is it still illegally used within the gold mines in French Guyana?
For the legal part, it's totally banned.
No one uses it?
No, in legal way. But we know that illegal gold miners are using mercury.
Illegal ones.
Illegal.
Yeah.
And this is a main problem for the local population, because this gold miner add mercury in the ecosystem, and we all damage we know.
Who are the illegal gold miners? Are they French people? Are they?
Mostly they are coming from Brazil, and yeah.
So French Guyana also has the problems with the Brazilians crossing over.
Sure, I mean the borders are rivers, so it's pretty easy to cross. And the mines are in the southern part, mostly of French Guyana, so in the forest, far from any roads, far from any
It's
rivers.
not very accessible.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So to tackle that, to fight against illegal gold mining, you've got to have copters, you've got to have boats to go there and to destroy the camps. To talk again about mercury. So mercury goes into the rivers, and into the river that goes on the ground of the river. Then the fishes eat the plant, and the big fishes eat the small fishes, and people eat big fishes. Yeah. And you've got a concentration of mercury on each step, and a local population, native, maroon, for example, who eat that kind of fish, then got mercury inside their body, inside their blood, and you've got lots of diseases, health problems when you've got mercury, especially for the pregnant woman.
Yeah, you would think French Guyana is a colony of France. France has more resources, has more money to put into eliminating illegal gold mining. Has that happened? That they give like helicopters, planes, soldiers, those things?
Sure, that's one of the objectives of the government is to tackle that issue, but this is a very dynamic situation, because of the price of the gold, which is really, really super high.
So people risk their lives to go get the gold.
Yeah, absolutely. There's so much money to be made there. Yeah. So, like the operations in the forest contain the dynamic of the gold mining, illegal gold mining. But of course, they try their best. I guess this is the international situation, between Brazil, between French Guyana, between Suriname, between even Guyana, how we work together to tackle those issues. I guess one of the solutions, of course, is fighting. The other solution is diplomatic discussions between governments. And then you've got, what do we do with those miners? Because, they want to earn money, like everybody. Yeah. And so they come in the forest, they illegal mine. But what do we do about the social situation?
You can hand them the clean way of getting the gold, and that's one of the problems you've dealt with, sustaining the forest.
Exactly. So that's an illegal activity that you have to stop. But what do we do about that phenomenon? That's something really complicated to tackle, but we have to do that.
Okay. Nou, dat is dus duidelijk. De illegale goudwinning is één probleem, maar er is een schonere manier om goud te delven. En dat is een van de methodes die dus ook gebruikt kan worden om tenminste het leven van mensen te redden. Saving people's lives. What are the biggest, or where are the gold miners coming from? Not those from Brazil, but are the gold miners crossing the border from French Guyana to Suriname or vice versa?
The river is the border, so it's very easy to move from a country to another. So yes, a lot of move from gold miner between Suriname and French
Yes.
Guyana, of course.
Okay, and you have been to villages. Have you seen, or have you seen people suffer from the use of mercury or?
The mercury is very. You don't see on people when they are contaminated by the mercury.
It's after years.
Yeah, and it's a very very bad contamination because it's from pregnant women and children, and you don't see like it's very. I don't know how to say that.
But are there villages where you can see that they are getting the mercury in their system because of the gold mining?
Yeah, and the river are very muddy, and this area we know there is no legal exploitation, so we know that when the river is very very muddy, it means that on the upstream there is illegal exploitation.
And going downstream.
Yeah.
Okay. When you arrive at a certain place to start with a rehabilitation process, what are the first things you and your organization are doing?
We have some tools that we are using. The first is we check the area with the drones and the LIDAR technology. LIDAR technology is with laser and from a plane, and it's coming from under the forest, and we can see the topography and the creeks where they are exactly at centimeters, and we can know more about our area and how we have to manage to do a better rehabilitation with the water and
Yeah.
So they can hunt there, they can fish there, they can harvest timber in a different way.
It's like protected by the government.
Absolutely,
No
and that's
gold mining or.
exactly. So that's one really interesting question, because can those zones be at the same time a gold zone? You know, gold mining zones. Is the uses of a local community and is a mine could they live together? That's a complicated question. We decided no. Okay, those kind of zones, mining is excluded.
So let's stress that again. You have a village, and next to the village you have a gold mine.
Yeah.
So
you've got a village, and then you've got a zone for them.
Yes.
The local government decided, okay, that zone is for hunting, fishing, small timber collecting, etc.
Yes.
And then you've got the gold miners wanted to come into that zone because there is gold on the side. Okay, we decided that is not possible.
By law.
By law, of course. But I say we because the forest agency has got that kind of power. We said, okay, that's not compatible. The miners don't agree. Of course, they say,
Yes,
I want to come there
that.
because there is gold. So do you prefer illegal gold mining or legal gold mining? I say that's not the question, because that area is dedicated for local uses, you know? And that's a huge debate in the society. So are the people ready to have a mine close to their village? And the mine, you know, can attract illegal miners, because when you've got illegal mines, sometimes you've got illegal miners going, you know, all around because they know that there is gold there. Is the village ready to that? And I mean, people will decide. But firstly, we say that's too much conflict in that area.
Yes. And what is the measurement of protection? Like 10 kilometers or 20 kilometers? How is a village protected?
Yeah, there is like a buffer zone, you know, like a zone where all the mining is forbidden. Depends on the zone. Sometimes you've got huge villages and you've got, for example, the national park, or for example, that kind of uses zone, which is like dozens of thousands of hectares. That's big zones, you know.
Oké. Goed, we nemen een korte break en praten zo meteen verder met onze gasten. Nou, welkom terug. François Korysko aan tafel en Emmanuelle Huet. We praten over gold mining en onder andere het belangrijkste natuurbescherming. Daar gaat het om. So, to finalize, what is the message you want to bring to Suriname during this seminar?
The message is about collaboration and exchange about our difficulties about illegal gold mining and what each country face, problems they are facing.
Yes.
Yeah, we have to exchange about that.
What is the biggest problem both countries are facing, in your opinion?
But about illegal gold mining, is for the population, local population, is very, very hard to live with this illegal gold mining next to their home. Yeah.
Yeah. Now, the Ministry of Justice in Suriname had said that there are Brazilian gangs operating in Suriname. Is it also?
Of course, yeah, because so much money brings violence, brings people wanting to kill each other to get that money. So I guess the main idea is connection. How do we connect with each other? Because we share the same forest, we share the same people, we share the same responsibility. So let's work together. For example, justice agreement, border agreement, mercury agreement. How do we collaborate more between in a technical way? For example, the technology Emmanuelle is using is the same that the SBB or LVB is using. So how we can benefit from each other, because that's a lot of money. Let's share the money, let's share the knowledge. I guess that's one of the main ideas we got there.
Okay. Mercury is illegal in French Guyana, also in Suriname, but you guys are able to contain that in French Guyana?
For the legal gold mining,
yes,
they've got no choice. That's forbidden and forbidden. And if they use that, they go to prison and they pay huge amount of money. But of course, the illegal gold mining, they use it. So how we can cut the mercury come from the markets, abroad, Suriname, Brazil, or even in French Guyana, how we stop the coming of mercury inside the South America territory, because that's not produced here. So, this comes from ports, comes from airports. So we stop that. That's one of the biggest issues.
That's going to be one of the messages.
Sure. Let's work together on that. Yeah.
All right. Good luck. When will there be a follow-up on the seminar or working together with the Surinamese government?
Sure, and we will hope that seminar will be held next year, maybe in Guyana, maybe in Brazil, maybe in French Guyana. So people keep sharing, meeting. I guess really, really important as the key message there.
All right. Thank you for being part of Onder de Loep. It was very informative, and wish you good luck with this mission.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Yeah.
En dit was het wat betreft Onder de Loep. Vandaag te gast François Korysko, directeur Nationaal Bosbureau Frans-Guyana, en Emmanuelle Huet. Zij is dus expert wat betreft rehabilitatie, goudwinningsgebieden. Nou, Onder de Loep ziet u dus morgen weer op 12.1 om 7 uur. Ik wens u een fijne dag verder.